like we'd go to clubs before we'd made a record, before anyone knew or gave a fuck who we were, right? We go straight to the front of the queue and go, we're a girl band, you gotta let us in. And
no, you didn't. Do you know who we are? Not yet.
But you will.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Life Uncut. I'm Brittany.
I'm Keisha, and this is not just any episode of Life Uncut. This is a conversation with someone who defined an entire generation.
Sorry, but if you told baby Brittany that one day she would grow up and speak to a real life Spice Girl, I would be absolutely beside myself. But I am so thrilled to introduce 1/5 of the Spice Girls. You might know her as Melanie Chisholm, Mel C, Sporty Spice. What else did you go by, Mel? Welcome to the podcast, firstly.
Thank you so much. So am I your first Spice Girl?
Yeah. You are a Spice virginity, Spicy V.
Yeah. I'll be gentle with you.
Maybe that could have been a name. Is that a missed opportunity, like the Virgin Spice Girl? Dear God.
I mean, we'd have to do some casting for that.
I'm genuinely absolutely thrilled to chat to you today. And I mean, we can only hope that one day we tick off the boxes and we get the whole entire group. But I just think back to my childhood, and I must have been about 10, I would say. And I think that that's that really crucial age. I think I got so deeply sucked in, and I do want to say that I was Sporty Spice, just so you know. Like, I'm not just saying that as a flex. I'm not trying to warm you up. I was Sporty Spice. And we're going to get into so much about who you are, who you were before the Spice Girls, and who you are now after. But before we do want to throw you under the bus with your most embarrassing story. We do it with everybody.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's probably been a few. I was talking to my daughter about this actually, and my daughter's only 16. She's got some good ones. But yeah, for me, I mean, there's been many mishaps on stage. Split pants, that was a fun one. Yeah, before doing Who Do You Think You Are, where we started wiggling our bums to the audience. So that wasn't my best day. But the one that just, you know, when it just like makes you shudder to the core, and lots of women, I'm sure, will identify with this. I was at the gynecologist and
it's always a good
at the
start.
time I had, yeah. And at the time I had a male gynae, and it was time for the well woman check, and I'm there, and you know what it's like, you know, getting undressed from the waist down, and having a dude, I had a female chaperone in the room, who was very lovely, and they're all, you know, very, very gentle and professional, and went through the whole, examination, and everything's fine. And then just as, he leaves the room and I'm just about to get dressed, knickers aren't back on yet. And the chaperone is very excited to meet a Spice Girl. And she wants to tell me,
wait till I got my pants on.
do you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, that's really nice. You've just been looking at my vagina.
Yeah, but you just made his day.
So that was, yeah. I mean, because for all women, that's, you know, I've had a baby, I've had all kinds. You know, I've had hands up there. Do you know what I mean?
If there's any time that you don't want to meet a fan, it's when they've just seen literally the inside of your pelvis.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So that was,
So did he double down and ask for an autograph while you got your pants off? Is he like, sign this? That's so funny.
There you go. We've all got him. Well, half of us, right?
Yeah, about half of us have had that experience. I think that the thing that is always so strange to me at the gynecologist, or if you are seeing your GP here to get that checkup, is that they give you the modesty towel and they leave the room so that you can take, and I'm like, you're about to be a lot. This feels like it feels a bit redundant.
Right up in there.
You know what's weird for me? It's not the gyno, because I only go once in a blue moon. It's the spray tan.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
you know, when you get a spray tan and the same thing, right? They're like, hey, I'll just duck out and let you get changed. But there's an awkward amount of time where you're standing there, stark as, and you're cold, and you're like, is someone going to come back in? And then you don't know what to do when they come in. Like, do you play it cool? Like, you're like, hi, like,
just hanging out.
You're like,
pay me like one of your French girls.
I've got another one for you. What about like hair removal, whether it's laser or waxing? Because we get all up in there now, don't we? It ain't the 70s anymore.
Yes. Also, it's so much more common here in Australia, and you've been spending a lot of time here. But Mel, we've had this discussion on the podcast before. What I can't understand is why there is not a uniform way to do the back. Like, you know the bit that I'm talking
No,
about.
you- okay,
Some
just spell it
people
out.
want you to like lift a leg, some want you on the side, some want you on your tummy to spread apart. I'm like, we all need to agree. Every laser therapist in the country needs to come together and agree on the best way to go forward.
We're not talking about the back. We're talking about the butthole, right? I went the other day and I got my butthole lasered along with a lot of other stuff, and it was a new technique I hadn't had. I've had it all, right? The spread, the roll on your tummy, the leg up, whatever. This one was new. It was like she was swiping an Amex. She got that laser and just swiped it down the middle of the cracks, and I was like, are you paying for something? What are you doing? Anyway, she's like, you're done. I was like, I don't think I am, but I'll choose to leave. Mel, I have so many Spice Girl questions I want to ask you, but I would prefer to start from the right here and the right now. You are, I mean, I can't believe we haven't run into you. You have been spending all of your time in Bondi. I'm in Bondi, and that's the end of the interview. Are we best friends? I don't know. But you're dating someone in Sydney. You've been living in Bondi, and you have recorded your 9th studio album there called Sweat, which is coming out in May, and that's a big reason about why we wanted to speak to you today. Can you talk to us about, why you decided to record it here, and what was the inspiration behind this album?
Well, I've been working on this album for, I think, just over 2 years. So I did a lot of work when I was in Sydney filming The Voice, and I've worked in LA and London as well. So, I would say Bondi's been super inspirational for me because being Sporty Spice, I have found my spiritual home. To get up at like 5 a.m. and it's like Bondi Beach is busier at 5 a.m. than it is at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm,
Do you know what I mean? It's very un-British. But if you saw the weather outside, because it's quite early here, we're getting into the depths of our like deep autumn. Winter's coming. Yeah. So to be in Bondi for me, being sporty, it's like, it's the dream. And, this album is such a reflection of what's been going on for me in the past 2 years. I've been DJing a whole lot more, traveling the world doing that. I've been loving working in Aus on The Voice. My lovely boyfriend has been a big inspiration on this album, and I'm just having a great time. And it was time for me to make a record that was really fun, to inject a bit of fun into my work. There's light and shade, because life's not all one thing, is it? So, I did on this album want to try and do something that I hadn't done before. I think when it's my 9th studio album. So it's like, what do we talk about now? But life continues to throw stuff at us. So I just had loads of fun bringing the kind of sport element into it, really embracing that, being Sporty Spice, being a DJ. So it's really dancey and, lyrically I've just, had a bit of fun.
Is it more of a DJ based album?
It's still a pop record. That's the one thing. I really wanted to make this album bring what I play as a DJ and who I am as an artist. I wanted to bring that closer together. But when I'm in the studio, I can't avoid my past and who I am as a singer. You know what I mean? So it's like, I learned how to write songs, make records with the Spice Girls. So I'm never going to steer too far away from it being pop music. But I think what's happened so brilliantly in the last 20 years is genres aren't apart anymore. There's so much crossover. And what I've loved as a DJ is I used to go raving when I was 19, 20, and to see a lot of those sounds, those 90s and noughties sounds come back into music and just be really mainstream as well, because it was quite underground when it started, but now it's it's right out there. And it's been loads of fun playing with different sounds, having a different attitude to my work, trying to bring a bit more attitude into it as well, So, I'm excited.
Do you know what I thought of when I first heard the song Sweat that you have released? So the first song that is from the album is out. I actually imagined it being played. So around Mardi Gras time here in Australia, we tend to have these massive concerts on Bondi Beach. And in my head, I was like, oh, this is just going to be an anthem. And I pictured you performing. And look, I have no idea if maybe if the people who organise those concerts are listening by any chance.
I don't think they need to listen.
Yeah.
I think Sporty Spice can call up and be like, yo, it's Mel C.
I just mean like I feel like that would be such a beautiful crossover and collaboration. And in the music, I feel as though I can hear the Australian inspiration of just like the fun, the outdoors lifestyle. And how was that for you? You spent a lot of time with us. Did you kind of feel as though you were maybe less recognisable here in Australia and you could almost be a little bit more normal? Or did you feel as though you were Sporty Spice living in Bondi?
Well, do you know what? It kind of it ebbs and flows, this whole life experience that I have. And I think it's funny because me getting to know Bondi, it's its own little scene, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
So I think it was funny kind of when I ventured into like the CBD, I was so much more recognized. And on Bondi, everyone's like kind of doing their own thing. So that was really lovely. I was going to say, talk about Mardi Gras. Yeah. So I will be in Australia when it is Mardi Gras. So, you know, I really hope I have the opportunity to perform Sweat because, you've seen my Spice Boys, right? So the Spice Boys in the Sweat video.
Oh, in the video. Yes.
So my creative director, a guy called Graham Cruz, was with me in Australia. We were shooting The Voice. We were both living in Bondi and, he went onto the beach on a daily basis to procure the young gentleman to come and be my Spice Boys. So yeah, it's very Australian influence.
Yeah.
This whole kind of, even the kind of aesthetic of everything. It was such a dream being there to work on this creative because it was like we just kept getting handed these gifts. You know, there are so many beautiful people down at Bondi. So like
it's
finding
disgusting,
these, my
isn't it?
little,
Oh,
I know,
really
right?
is.
It is. It's a lot of pressure, but no, it was really fun. And yeah, it was perfect. Even the space, we shot at Carriage Works, and which is just a gorgeous, because I know you have the Fashion Week over there, don't you? And oh my goodness, what an incredible location to work in. So yeah, Australia's been, a very special place for this record.
While we're sitting here, you just said Sydney is been a special part and a lot of inspiration, and your partner has been a big inspiration. How did you meet him? I would love to know. And what do you think about dating an Aussie? Because, I mean, I went and married a European because I just couldn't find an Aussie, but a lot of people struggle dating Australians. They think that they're like not romantic and not chivalrous, and obviously you're having a good experience.
I think I got a good one, if that's other people's experiences. So this is right. Okay. Little exclusive for you.
Okay.
Nobody knows this, but we actually met on Raya.
That's where Britt met her husband.
I got married from Raya.
Yeah. It can work, people. It can work.
It can work.
So I don't know how much to divulge. But
Spill.
I was in a relationship previously. And you know, sometimes you get to the end of a relationship and you're like, well, first of all, you're like, I never want to meet anyone ever again.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. It's just me. It's me and my girl. That's it. It's us against the world, which it still is. But then you get to this point and it's usually on a drunken night out with female friends, right? And it's like, you got to get back out there. You got to start dating. So that's when the Raya thingy was set up, right? The profile was set up. So we're on this thing, which is really good fun as well. It's especially, again, with your mates down the pub. It's quite fun. We used to call it boy bingo. So we'd go through and, see if there was any hotties on there, see what celebrities we could spot, which is always fun.
See, Britt and I used to play a game of bingo when it came to dating apps, but it was if we matched with the same person.
Yeah. We're like, gotcha.
That was our version.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And luckily I haven't had any of that. All the other Spice Girls have spoken for, so that could have been awkward. So I'm on the app, and in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this dude. I want someone who is all the things that he wasn't and the complete opposite. And I don't want somebody under my feet, So I'm in London and I match up with this guy in Sydney, and I'm like, well, he's absolutely not under my feet. But I did have a DJ tour planned, and I thought, well, he's really cute. This is worth pursuing. Thought even if it's just dinner, he could buy me dinner, right? So I came over. It was November 23, and we went out for dinner. And this is a flex, right? I landed at 7 o'clock that morning. I stayed awake. I kept busy all day and I went on our first date that night. I mean, that's
impressive.
That's commitment.
it's either, it's commitment or desperation.
No, it's how you look at it. It's how we phrase it.
It's how we frame
commitment.
it. It's all good. Yeah. So I was like, okay, because he booked this restaurant. It was hard to get into. So I was like, I don't want to let the dude down, right? I'm going to rock up. And we've been together ever since. So that's the story, which I've never actually told.
So what qualities does he have that you were looking for? Like, what was different about him?
He's just a real gentle soul. He's one of those people that just, it doesn't get all up in your business. You know, he's quietly in the sidelines being uber supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's wonderful. And I think, you know, for me, I've said this a few times, spending more time in Australia, I've realised that there's a real kinship between Australians and people from the north of England. I think we've got a lot of, you know, similar sense of humour, you know, just the way we approach life. And, you know, finding that in someone's been lovely.
I used to live in Newcastle, like I was a Geordie Shore girl, and I didn't see a lot of similarities over there. They were a bit wild when I was there. I do feel like that listening to your story then was exactly. I just feel like you just channeled my story. I was the same thing. I was like, I'm never fucking dating again. Didn't date for a year. Woke up one day and thought, I need to get back on the horse. Went on to Raya, found my husband there, and I was like, exactly what you said. I said, I don't want anyone under my feet. I don't want anyone here. I want someone so far away that knows nothing about me. Met up with him thinking that I was just going to like clean up with this hot guy for a night and like have my first one night stand. And then I married him, but he's still, I married the guy. So I still haven't had a one night stand. Like we were together ever since Stu. And the best part is he still lives in Italy. I shouldn't say the best part. We don't even live together. But it's like
similarities, guys.
It's everything that you just said. I was just like, wow, you're me. Am I Sporty Spice? We love to hear that. We love to hear that you're happy. We won't delve too much deeper. But let's like rewind to, I guess, the Spice Girls, how that came to be and just, I guess, who you were before you found that. And whilst many people might know how you became a part of that band, I do think it's fascinating. I think there's a lot of people that don't know. So if you can take us back to how the Spice Girls came to be.
Yeah. So, well, I went to Performing Arts College when I was 16. So I grew up just outside Liverpool and I danced from about the age of 8. And I think, you know, I did a lot of sport as well, like when I was at school. And I just got to this point where I realized being a performer was the thing that made me happiest. And I was, you know, really, really focused on that being a career. So I'd left home at 16, which is, my God, my daughter's 16. So that like kind of freaks me out now how young that is. And I moved to London. So, you know, for people who don't know the geography of the UK that much, which again is very different to Australia. Okay. In the UK, like 200 miles is a long way.
Yes.
I know in Australia, it's just
for us, that's next door.
Totally. It's our neighbour.
What's that expression of yours? It's over in whoop whoop. I mean, it's far. So yeah, so I moved down to London and I studied for 3 years, but I always wanted to work in music. But, you know, it's like, it was different then. I think there are so many avenues that you can release your own music. You know, we have social media now. You can kind of get your own little fan base built up. But back in the early 90s, it was very different. And I was out auditioning and got a flyer for a girl band. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's exactly what I want to do. So I went along to this audition and there was lots of kind of changes and things. I didn't make the original band. I didn't make it back to the second audition. I was sick. And then there was a girl called Michelle who was in the band and then she wasn't in the band anymore. And then Emma arrived and it was the 5 that you all know. We left the original management. We went out there on our own. We'd made contacts in the industry. We kind of did our own thing for about a year and then met Simon Fuller, who went on to manage us and we got signed to Virgin Records. And so, yeah, so that's how it all began. It's funny because I don't think people know the story. You know, there was lots of kind of ups and downs and changes before we became the Spice Girls.
I think that's really interesting, Mel, because by all accounts, you would think, okay, this person or this company that has developed this band and shot you into stardom, do you think that you would feel some kind of loyalty to them or you owe them? But you guys actually just packed up and left. Was there something that went down that we don't know about that made you do that?
Do you know what? I think because when Emma joined the band, it just felt like this like final jigsaw piece had been put into place. And it was, there's this thing with the Spice Girls. I mean, obviously now, because everything that happened. But from day one, before we'd ever released anything, the five of us together, the dynamic is so electric that and I think that was the thing that catapulted us out into the world. Everywhere we went, every label we went to, every management we went to see, people they couldn't help. Like we're just, what is this like whirlwind? We were like a Tasmanian devil. We just came in and we just disrupted everything. And that's what it's like now. We get together in a room and it's not often that the five of us are together. We get together in there might be a 3 and a 2 and a whatever. But when the five of us get together, it's just wild. Whatever this thing is, whatever this chemistry is between us, it's so sparky. And we felt that. But our management were very reluctant to move things forward, and we were young and we were ambitious and we had we were impatient and we just wanted to be out there. So I think because they were dragging their heels, we were like, screw this lot, let's go and do it on our own. We were so young, but I think we had so much belief because we could feel this energy, and also just having each other to bounce off each other, to support each other. We were like, we are going to conquer the world. And the minute we all went, we're going to do this, we never look back, and I think that's such a huge part of the Spice Girls' success.
I also think that what you're describing, it's kind of like when you meet a partner that you just connect with, you can't necessarily identify what one thing it is, but there's just a different energy when you're together. There's just something that, whether you can identify it or not, it's there. And it's like that chemistry and that magic that can be created. But you guys, you didn't know each other beforehand. And then you seemingly became the best of friends. You ended up living in a house together. Like, how quick did that friendship evolve and what was that like at the time?
Do you know what? It came really quickly. And I think that being because we all shared this vision, so it was, and we never stopped. It's interesting now because, obviously there are a lot of TV shows that have, I think a lot of things post Spice Girls was quite Spice Girls inspired. So, TV shows that put bands together and this whole like training thing. But we were doing a similar thing, but behind the scenes, and we were all very self-motivated. So yeah, we'd be in that house. It was just crazy. We'd be like oh God, like it's so funny thinking back. It's like, must have been so annoying. But to our neighbours especially, we were always singing and dancing and doing dance routines. And, anywhere we went, we'd get up and we'd do a song and, and it is cute because we were so young, but we just had this self-belief. Like we go, and I mean, Geri's such a huge part of this. Geri and Melanie being like the more outspoken members of the band, like we go to clubs before we'd made a record, before we'd released anything, before anyone knew or gave a fuck who we were, right? We go straight to the front of the queue and go, we're a girl band, you gotta let us in. And
no, you didn't.
Do you know who we are? Not yet.
But you will.
Did they let you in?
It worked. It worked, that conviction, like about having each other to go on, egging each other on.
Brit is so about this. She is the type of person who she's always like, you have to manifest what you want. You've got to talk about that you've already got it. You've got to believe in yourself even when other people
Fake
don't.
It till you make it.
Oh,
right?
you've never. I am the ultimate manifester. Like that, you can put that on my grave if you want. I'll die somehow manifesting something. You can put it on my grave. But what was it like? I guess you guys went from 0 to 100 so quickly. I cannot think of another band in the world, literally, that in such a short time dominated the world, but then I guess, for want of a better word, ended so quickly as well, because we know Ginger Spice left 22 months into your band being created. But what was it like
wild
to go from 0 to 100 when you're so young? You have not only the world looking in on you, but you have the UK media and the tabloids, who we know are some of the most vicious in the world. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was a baptism of fire for sure. It's crazy. We made 2 albums and a movie, all and toured. We're all within like under 2 years.
It's insane.
It's nuts. So we got together in 1994. So it was 2 years before we released anything. And then, less than 2 years. And I think the thing that blows my mind is, obviously we made great music. We made the movie. But it was like that cultural impact. And it's something like now it is wild. I don't think I can watch some box set or whatever it is, some TV show, some movie without there being a reference to the Spice Girls. It's crazy, whether it's actually the Spice Girls or Girl Power or one of the band members. It seems to be like a daily thing for us. And it has been since the 90s, which, is crazy. But it was tough, and I think nothing can prepare you for it. And the 90s and the noughties were brutal. Like the tabloid media here were horrendous. Things have improved. They got a big old shake up when all the illegal phone hacking and stuff went down.
And that happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah. It happened to everyone. Everyone in the public eye had this experience. It was horrendous because, you were reading stories about yourself and you were like, how do they have this information? And we, even within the band, it was so detrimental to us because we started to question each other. Each other's loyalty, if we could trust each other, our families, our friends, it was really detrimental to relationships.
I can't imagine how you would feel. You're in this tight knit group. There are 5 of you that know a pivotal, crucial piece of information. Then it's leaked. It's like the Wagatha Christie, right? Like you guys started the Wagatha Christie thing where you're like, one of you is telling my secrets. Who is it? There is no part of you that would think the press is hacking your phone, because that is like CIA level stuff. This is extreme stuff.
But you know what's wild, right? What is wild is we were warned. And I don't know whether it was kind of a way of controlling us. But we were warned that anything we ever did would get found out. Right? Which is, imagine living like that. Because we were like late teens, early 20s. So you're going out, you're experimenting, you're meeting people, you're having fun, you're figuring out who you are. But all of this is like under a microscope.
Yeah.
And you were getting told anything you do, any mistake you make, it will get found out and it will be publicized.
Was there someone like the most famous person that you might have hooked up with that never made it out? Like, did you guys sneak in some relationships that you were like that you were like, wow, I can't believe the press didn't hear we made out? I
don't believe. I think there might be one person that was like a question mark over. But there was did they, didn't they? But I think if I think about all the girls and anyone else in the public eye we might have hooked up with, I think that it's all out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that change how you lived life? Did it make you be smaller in your experiences because you were just terrified that you'd have to have everyone find out? Yeah,
it really did. And I mean, not only in how you went about life, but how you internalized things, and I think the hardest thing for a young person in the public eye, I personally found, was the narrative that's built up for you, and I experienced this when I released an autobiography a few years back. And at the same time, I was gathering all the evidence for my phone hacking case, because I did do a case, have a claim. And it was dark because I had to go back through everything from the 90s, everything that was ever written about me in the tabloids. And it was quite cathartic in a sense because, I've had issues, after I was working with the Spice Girls in the late 90s, early noughties, I really struggled. I had an eating disorder. I had depression. I was struggling with anxiety, and there was lots of things I had to address. And when I went back to look, I'm getting upset thinking about it. When I went back and saw the narrative that was presented of me and thought about how young I was at that time, I actually forgave myself. because I felt so guilty for so long that I'd become a victim of those issues, you know? And, it's like so many performers. I'm a perfectionist, I'm very hard on myself. And I got very sick and I blamed myself and I was, and I was weak. And when I looked at that, all of that press coverage, I forgave myself. I was like, I had no chance.
No.
Young people under that scrutiny, and it's evil. They took our personal information. They took medical information about me. They published it. They didn't only publish it. They bullied us with it. You know what I mean?
They used it as a weapon.
They did. They totally did. And so, like I say, in a sense, it was cathartic, but it makes me angry and it makes me really sad because I feel like they stole something from me. Do you know what I mean? They stole my freedom as a young person to live my life and make mistakes. And, so it was, luckily it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not as bad now. It's a little bit more read between the lines in the UK media, I would say.
I think you're giving them a lot of grace. It's still pretty bad. Like, it's still pretty horrific. They're still crossing a lot of lines, but nothing comparable to the time that you were experiencing it. But I remember, I remember I've read it about you, but Posh also, I shouldn't say Posh, Victoria Beckham in her documentary.
That's okay. We don't mind our nicknames.
I know. Do you know it's it just defaulted to it. I should call her Victoria Beckham. That is her name. But Victoria recently spoke about it in her documentary. The fact that you guys on live radio and live TV were being weighed and compared for your body weight and how much weight you'd put on and like, you were 18. What chance did you have? And I think as a society, we forget that happened. Like, we just forget until I resaw that and her speaking about it on the documentary. I'm like, imagine if somebody went onto TV now and they were like, weighed and compared you against the rest of you. Like, of course you didn't stand a chance. I know you would not blame the media, but is there a part of you that attributes your eating disorder to the things that were written and said in those times?
Yeah, you know what? I think whatever happens to us in life, there's lots of factors around that, isn't there? What was difficult for me personally, I'd grown up in an environment being a dancer, as a dancer. Went to college 16 to 19 and I knew people, who were suffering. And so I'd been exposed to people with eating disorders, but I'd never succumbed to that. And it was that scrutiny that kind of just pushed me over the edge. Yeah, like you say, you can't blame people, but there's catalysts, a comment about the size of your legs or a mean headline or something. And it feeds into that insecurity and it definitely makes these problems worse.
Mel, please only share what you're comfortable with, but are you at a point now of resolution with that eating disorder, or is it something that has, it kind of always lives in the back of your mind, even now at 51? Like, does that does it still exist for you in your mind, the diet culture of the 90s and the kind of the pressure that you were put under at the time?
Do you know what? It was a really long journey back to full health. And I feel like, diet culture, I look at the 80s, like my mum was always on a diet. I mean, my mum's in incredible shape, but I just think as women in our society, there has always been so much pressure. The thing that I love now, I mean, nothing's ever perfect, is the aesthetic has changed. Yeah. There is so much more body positivity. I'm muscular. That's not for everyone. You know what I mean? It's like, I know I get criticized sometimes because, she's too masculine, whatever. Screw you. This is my choice. Thank you so much. This is how I choose to look. Do you know what I mean? I work hard. I love working out. I eat good. I look after my body. I'm 51 years old. I still work like I'm 25. Do you know what I mean? Nana gets tired. I'm not gonna lie. But
that 3 p.m. nap hits different.
Yeah. So, life is different, but I want to continue to work at this pace until I drop dead, and that's what it's going to take to do it. I'm taking my collagen. I'm doing my weighted walks. I'm doing all the things, right? That's what I choose to do. But in the 90s, it was very much heroin chic. You know, it was skinny was the only way, especially if you were in the public eye. We had all those lovely magazines. They'd circle the cellulite. They do all that stuff. I mean, thank God that, you know, my daughter isn't growing up in that culture. She wants a big bum, you know, I mean, I want a big bum now too. I'm like, yeah, right. Bring the squats on, girl. So yeah, so thankfully the aesthetics changed. And, you know, of course we still are under a lot of pressure, but I think those things, there's like from childhood, from being a young person, it never goes away. But to answer your question, yeah, I've had a lot of therapy and yeah, I think time, wisdom, becoming a mum, you know, meeting a fantastic partner, all of those things, that it's a lot of it's confidence, isn't it? It's like figuring out I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm okay no matter what. And just actually giving yourself a bit of a break, being kind to yourself in every way. I don't train like a lunatic anymore. I mean, I train hard because I love it, but I ain't on that treadmill for an hour, you know, sod that. So, yeah, it's been a journey. Yeah.
$1 million question. Did you guys get to pick your names? Like, did you get to say, I want to be Sporty, or did someone put that on you?
We were named by a magazine. So, you know, you must know Top of the Pops. It's iconic TV music show in the UK. Well, it was sadly no longer with us. And they had a magazine and it was the editor. And we had lunch with him and he was like, you guys, you need a nickname. So they just like published the magazine one week and give us these silly names. And they just stuck. And actually in the US, they don't know our names. They kind of know them now. But like back in the day, it was just all nicknames.
Interesting.
I did not know that. So when the Spice Girls took off, you didn't have the names yet. That was given to you after the fact.
Yeah. And it was like I say, it was never meant to be a thing. It just caught on.
Was
and
anyone
loved
dirty?
It. And
dirty with the names? Like, was Ginger like, fuck, why am I Ginger? Like,
yeah. No, we loved it. And we totally played up to it and we became caricatures of it. And the funny thing is now, because, you know, obviously Ginger, the colour of her hair, right? But, you know, she was fiery and she was outspoken and she was loud. And, you know, we kind of become these characters of these nicknames and we haven't changed. You know, we get together now and we're still, you know, Victoria was always a bit posher than the rest of us. She'd be the first to admit she ain't posh. Well, she kind of is now, but she wasn't then. But yeah, Mel B's scary. I mean, I don't know if you've met Mel B, but she's scary.
Mel B's scary.
That's too funny.
She would be the one that I wouldn't have wanted to cross for sure. Like
absolutely,
that's what she gave.
But you know what she is, right? So Mel B she's one of those characters where you wouldn't want to cross her, but if she's got your back,
you're good.
It's all good. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, so you're given these names. Do you think that actually impacted the way that you interacted with each other, that you like lent more into the characters that you were given within the dynamic, or did it just naturally kind of fit?
Like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because you've sparked a little memory, because people often ask, you know, about the nicknames and the way that we all dress differently. Yeah. And when we were with our first management, I can remember the day. It was, you know, we were trying to figure out who we were, who we wanted to be as a band. And our management were, you know, saying, oh, you know, dress like this, dress like that, you know, coordinate, sing these songs, do the thing. And we were all like, nothing felt quite right. And one day we were in a rehearsal, and we used to rehearse in like this dance studio with mirrors. And I was in a trackie and Emma was in a little baby doll dress and Geri was in something from like I don't know what you guys call it. We call it like a charity shop. But, you know, she wears like all like little eclectic, crazy little get-ups. And I'm not sure if Mel B had the leopard print by now, but she had her big, you know, bushy hair all out.
Was Victoria in a little Gucci dress?
It wasn't Gucci then. Couldn't afford the Gucci.
Yeah, no.
But, she was definitely in something a bit more sophisticated. So I remember Geri like looking in the mirror and going, why don't we just dress the way we dress? You know, why don't we do that? And it wasn't like a big thought and, you know, a master plan. It was like, well, you're comfortable in a tracksuit. You know, you're comfortable in your dress. And so that's how we presented ourselves out to the world. And that's, you know, a lot of the, you know, obviously my nickname's very much on how I dressed and like my physicality and stuff. But yeah, that was something that came quite early. And I think we just like these nicknames did evolve into our characters, but it's like, It is who we are. I think we played up to it for the cameras, but our personalities really haven't changed. I remember we were in rehearsal for our tour. We toured the UK in 2019. We did stadiums. Oh my God, the shows, honestly, the show was amazing.
If you do it again, can you send us a ticket? Because I missed out.
Well, it would be nice to do it in Australia, right?
Yes.
You know, we've neglected you guys for way too long.
You have.
But we were in rehearsals and Mel B had leopard print on, I had a trackie on, and we just like, I think Emma was probably like baby blue and had some little bunches in it. And we were like, we're ridiculous. Like we just literally are these people. We have never changed.
Yeah. I think that's really beautiful. And it's quite obvious to the rest of the world. I think that now we can probably see a little bit more through the cracks. But I think it's really obvious that you guys had such genuine love for each other and loyalty towards each other and support for each other. Has that continued on for, are these lifelong friendships? Are these people that you will go to the end of your days just loving so thoroughly?
Absolutely. But you know what? It's beyond friendship. It's family because we grew up together. We had our siblings. It's funny because 4 of us have siblings the same age. So, they experience, because, when these things happen to people, it's not just the Spice Girls it happened to. It was our family, it was our close friends. And we had everyone so close to us. So we grew up with each other's parents and now the kids, obviously we all have our own kids. And sometimes we drive each other crazy. Sometimes we fall out, and people, they love that. The media love that, don't they? Oh, there's a rift in the Spice Girls. Yeah, of course there is, because we're like sisters. Yeah. Sometimes someone's really acting up and we're really angry with them. And then, but if anybody said anything negative about them, we would be on them. And that's the nature of the relationship. And that's never going to change.
It's also so true. Yeah. It's like, because that was going to be a question, but I love that you just own it and claim it. And you're like, yeah, we had a fight. Get over it. Like that's tell me a relationship in the world that is smooth sailing.
But isn't it so funny that you could say that, like I could say something about Brit
but no one else
can. But if anybody else said something like that, they can fuck right off.
But what was the deal with, if you can, with Geri when she left? Because I think that was a really big, it shocked the world. I never forget reading the headline. I was like, what do you mean the Spice Girls are over? Like that ripped hearts out all over the world. Was there a falling out there over something, or was it just not for me anymore?
Do you know what? It was a difficult time. It was a difficult time for all of us because it came as quite a shock. I think Geri had been struggling just personally within the band. And I think, gosh, at that point, we were all at burnout. We were on tour. We hadn't stopped for like almost a couple of years. And I think it had just got to that part of being a Spice Girl. We all have a part of being a Spice Girl that we love. Geri is very creative. Myself and Geri spent a lot of time in the studio. We'd often like work extra hours on choreo, because she wasn't a trained dancer. She openly admits that. So we'd hang out and we'd work a bit more on that. And she'd be so creative, like in the studio with lyrics and song ideas. But when it came to the live, it doesn't give her the same fulfillment as it does someone like me or Mel and Emma. And I think for her at that point, we were all so exhausted. And, and there was tensions between us. We talked about the media situation. And I think she just got to the point where she's like, I can't carry on. I can't do this anymore. And at the time we were really hurt. We were really upset and we didn't believe it. We were like, we thought she'd come back. There's footage of me because we come back to the UK to do a show. We just released Viva Forever and I had to fib and say she wasn't well and I'm the worst liar in the world. But we did honestly believe she was going to come back. I think we were leaving her like voice notes like, come on, you silly cow, come back now.
Like, we get it. We're sorry. You can't.
Yeah, we hear you kind of thing.
And then she just didn't. she
just didn't.
She just didn't.
Yeah.
Who would you say that you are closest to now after all this time?
I think myself and Emma. We've always remained closer. We don't live that far from each other, actually. We socialise probably more than I do with the other girls. But you know what's interesting? I think within the band, we all have, and this, it's like friends, isn't it? We have different relationships with each other. everyone's relationship is quite unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I could sit on the Spice Girls forever, but you are so much more than that. You did go out on your own once the Spice Girls dissolved. What was that like to try and start fresh and find a new identity? Because all of a sudden you are a Spice Girl, but you're not. You're Melanie C, and you were trying to say, hey, like, look who I am on my own. I imagine that you sort of get stuck with, because I don't want to say stuck with, but here we are now still talking about the Spice Girls, 20, 30 years on. How did you redefine who you were, and did you find it a real struggle?
Yeah, it was super hard. I think initially I was desperate to do that. I wasn't ready to stop, because I think I'd already developed, some of the issues that I was dealing with. And I think I was too scared to stop, because I'd have to face things. So we toured in 1998, and on the American leg of the tour, both Melanie and Victoria fell pregnant. I love that. Fell pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh,
whoopsie. Yeah, it's such a stupid way to say it, isn't it?
fell on the penis. Whoopsie.
Oh my God, I fell on the sperm. Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, how should I phrase that? They got knocked up, basically.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that meant there'd be a natural break in what we were doing. But for me, it was like, right, I can't stop. I won't stop. And I went to LA and I started working on my first solo record. And that was probably a tricky time, in the sense that I absolutely loved expressing myself as an individual, and just, being part of the band is incredible, but it's quite overwhelming. And I think being one of the quieter members of the band, to be able to have my own voice and not have to compromise in any way, I was like, I really like this, So that first record was, it was such a magical time to be able to express myself in that way. But also it made me really determined to prove that I was more than just Sporty Spice. So I feel like I kind of parked Sporty Spice for a few years, and I was trying to redefine who I was. And, it's all there on the internet. You can see there's hairstyles.
You can see me figuring my shit out.
There were definitely lots of different hairstyles.
Yeah. So although creatively, making music, that was all going well, visually I wasn't quite sure. So that took a little bit of time to figure out. But it's funny, because I was so like, I'm more than a Spice Girl, I'm an individual, which is kind of redundant, because the Spice Girls is this enormous entity and something I'm so proud of, that coming back to it and embracing it and realizing I am an individual as well as being part of this incredible thing, it serves me so much better,
Can you don't have to answer this, but do you guys still get royalties from the Spice Girls?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So could you just live off the royalties now? Like, hypothetically, you don't want to lift a finger again. Is it enough are you killing it?
Asking for a friend.
You know what? It's all relative, isn't it? It's relative to the lifestyle you want, right?
Yeah.
This is true. And I only say this, I'll just say it. I don't want to come across, it's a rude question for sure. We have a friend in the industry that did very well with music, and unfortunately they had signed their life away a little bit
To a record label.
to a label, and we were shocked to hear at just how little they get from that. So I guess my question was more seated around that as well.
I think people will probably be shocked that it's not a crazy amount of money that the Spice Girls still make, but we co-wrote everything we did. So obviously there's 5 of us, and we had 50% of all the songs split between the 5 of us, so like 10% each. So obviously those songs are still loved and played. So we do get publishing royalties from that. Yeah, I suppose, and recording royalties as well. So there are ways, there is revenue streams still out there.
Yeah.
But you know what? For me, it's like, I love what I do. I could probably I'd have a very different life, but I love making music. I love, speaking to people. I love traveling. I love performing. So why would I stop?
I was going to ask you, like, you've got your 9th studio album coming out. Do you still get that same buzz performing? Like, does it still kind of feel
my
the
gosh.
same?
Oh my God. Absolutely. It's like more so, because I think,
Really?
yeah, I think you just become more appreciative the older you get. You know, like back in the day, like with the girls, when we did 2019, those last shows, it was great because we were present. We really appreciated it. You know, we could really take it all in. In the 90s, we were in survival mode.
Yeah.
We were knackered. You know, we were yeah, living day to day, yeah, to get through the amount of work we were doing. So it is beautiful to revisit something and really appreciate it.
What was it like performing in front of your daughter? Was that like kind of strange for you guys to have them realize, you know, who their mums were?
Amazing. Yeah, you know, it's funny because people say, oh, you know, when did you introduce your daughter to the Spice Girls? And it's like, she's just grown up with it. You know, she's met the other girls, she's been along to my shows and she's watched the videos and all the things. But it blew her mind to see, like in real time, mum in a stadium, face on a screen, like 90,000 people screaming, you know, singing along. I think all of the kids, because they were like such lovely ages when we did those shows, we weren't able to see them, but their reactions, they were all a bit gobsmacked. So for like 2 weeks, I was the coolest mum ever.
I was about to say, you were at sold out Wembley Stadium. So you probably went from mom, you're embarrassing me, to like, that's my mom. That's my mom.
Yeah, totally. But then after 2 weeks, we were still on the road. It was like, yeah, just back to normal. Cringe.
How funny, because it's like it's one thing to grow up knowing that your parents do something cool or you know, I was in a band once, but it's another thing just to see the reach and the love and the excitement that you had, because there are not many people that are selling out Wembley Stadium, you know, especially like 20 years after the fact.
Yeah.
Should we do some quick fire
questions?
Yes,
we've got some Spice It Up with Mel C questions for you, Mel. So these are just like fast back and forth. Can we start with your favourite tour memory? And it can be from any tour that you've ever done.
Okay, this is going to make me sound a little bit strange. So when we did those shows in 2019, one of my favourite shows, we were in Manchester, and every single show we played on that tour was incredible. We played Bristol and it absolutely pissed down. We were soaking. We had to like redo the show so we didn't go out and like just get soaked. And so that was insane, but still an amazing night. In Manchester, we used to come up through the stage, like for the opening for Spice Up Your Life. And
even when you said that out loud, I was like singing in my head, Spice Up Your Life.
Yeah, honestly, thinking about it is so exciting. But we'd be on this like lift under the stage and we'd all be holding hands and we'd pop up, and the wave of love that would come at you from the audience. It was just incredible. And this one night in Manchester, I don't know what this says about me, but I could see crackles of like electricity. I had this visual. There was so much energy. Honestly, it was wild. And I swear down, it happened. I saw this thing. And so that for me is like, it's otherworldly.
Mm-hmm. Were you in a lightning storm?
Yeah. Right. I know, it was this crackle of energy. I saw it from the audience.
Wow.
And it's so hard to describe to people the feeling when you're on stage in that environment. And it's like, so I think back to Croke Park as well. That's another one. It was Croke Park in Dublin. It was the first night of the tour and you're shitting yourself, right? We're not ready. Can I remember everything? I'm going to make a fool of myself. Can I get through it? All these things are going through your head. So we were shaking, your knees are going, and we were all like gripping each other's hands. And the moment we popped up onto the stage, there was this like wave, this like physical wave of love that hit you. And from that moment, everything was okay, you know, and this shared experience you have with this, you know, crowd, 90,000 strong. It's almost indescribable, but that's how I like try to express it to people so they can get an idea of what it feels like.
I mean, yeah, we performed to 5,000 people and I get that energy. So I can only imagine what it feels like for you. Which Spice Girl causes the most trouble?
Mel B. Hands down. That's easy.
Okay, that was
a
real quick fire one.
I know. I remember they're quick fire and I just talked.
No, it's actually they're actually better not quick fire. Have any of you been to jail?
Some of us should have been.
Okay, so none arrested.
Not yet.
Okay, well,
gosh,
it's the day's still young. Okay, a song you'll never get tired of performing.
Oh my gosh. All of them. I love it. I used to be a real ballad girl. I used to be like Viva Forever, To Become One, Too Much. They're my faves. And then when we did the Olympics 2012 in London, it was a little medley of Wannabe and Spice Up Your Life. And I was like, these songs bring people so much joy that they have become, absolute favourites as well.
Can I just tell you, Mel, that before we started recording, I was talking with our video editor, Ness, who absolutely loves you. And I was joking about this meme that went around my friendship group like a couple of years ago. And it said, despite the contradictory advice that circulated in the 90s, if you want to be my lover, please do not get with my friends.
Yeah, it just hits different now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Back to that bingo thing where we would match with the same people. What is your biggest ick?
Oh my goodness, my biggest ick. Oh, do you know what I hate? I hate people who go, I tell it like it is. Oh, fuck off.
You're just a
that
cunt.
really annoys me.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
so
It's like,
funny.
oh, it just annoys me. It's like, you tell it like it is. Yeah, you're just mean. Or I think that's for other people to say what you are, not you. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's also like, it's on par with people that say, hey, no offense, you fucking mole.
I think it's more like when you're dating and the person that, like, this only happened for me with guys where they'd be like, I'm a really nice guy. And I remember getting to the point where I was like, do you know what, actually, that's for me to determine. That's actually not for you to self-identify as. You won't need to tell me.
Yeah, that self-awareness. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't patronise me. I can
I
decide
tell you
how
how
I view you. Yeah.
Who's the Spice Girl that you would trust the most to take your daughter on a holiday?
That's a good question. It's funny actually because Mel B, I love you, Mel. He's getting a bad rap in this thing. I'm like the one my daughter would probably like to go on holiday the most with, but the one I'm like, it ain't happening.
Because that's the same holiday they're most likely to get arrested.
Yeah, exactly.
it's the same holiday.
Well, we have this joke, like me and Mel, because my daughter's really sassy, and even when she was little, we'd be like, shouldn't she be your daughter? You know what I mean? She's a little bit like you. I would trust all of the girls with my child, to be honest with you. I think she would. Who would she? Yeah, she'd enjoy going on holiday with Melanie the most, probably. But then Victoria, probably, I'm sure that would be a pretty nice holiday.
She's got a nice bow.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. If I was a teenager, I think I'd be going with Victoria. I was like, I'll pick Victoria.
Right.
Last question. Who's the most famous person you've kissed?
Oh my God, it's such old news, isn't it? I suppose it would be Robbie, would it? That's not a secret, is it?
I love him.
Yeah,
He's so
I
much
know.
fun.
You know, I was security at his first concert when, I was a security guard there. Is that not the funniest thing?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was
God,
like,
that's
I
so
would have
funny.
blown away in the wind. I wasn't stopping anyone, but my only way to see him was to work it. And so I got a job on the security team and I was like stopping people from getting in, and that was how I experienced it.
Mel, I am so grateful that you've taken the time to speak with us. You are just, I know that, I hope this comes across in the way that I mean for it to. You're so normal. Like, you're just such a normal, lovely person to have a conversation with.
And you just tell it how it is. It's like,
you just tell it how it is. It's just who you are. You're just a nice person.
So down to earth.
you said that.
You actually are very down to earth, though. And I think I will speak for both of us when I say that we so hope that we run into you on Bondi Beach at the playground. That's what we call the
Hope
outdoor
you run
gym.
into us. I'm taking you to Toddy's. Hit me up next time you're back. For
Oh
sure.
my God, I love Totties.
How good's the bread?
Just before I left Sydney, that was like, where do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, that's where I want to go. After I shot the video, I was like, I want to go to Totties and order all the potatoes.
Oh my God,
All of the
it's
bread.
So good.
Yeah, all the bread, all the potatoes. Yeah.
We're thrilled. I feel like Australia has adopted you in a way. You've been coming here for so long and you're on our TV screens. You're dating one of us. Like, we were good enough to make it into your world, which we are thrilled about. And I'm genuinely absolutely thrilled that we got this chance to speak to you, because you've been such a huge part of my childhood, but so many people's childhood. And just to hear that you're such a nice, normal person as well is wonderful. But I cannot wait to hear the rest of the album. For everyone that wants to hear it, it's May 1st. Sweat will be dropping like it's hot. And I can only hope you spend some time here playing and doing some shows, because you know that it'll be a sellout.
Well, you know that's in my plan. Singles out right now, and yeah, videos out there, and I'll be back really, really soon.
We love it. There'll be
Thank
links
you.
to all of that, plus Mel's social media in our show notes for anyone to click through. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, I've really enjoyed it. So I hope all your viewers and listeners enjoy it too. And yeah, I'll see you soon. And yeah, if we're not just going to bump into each other, we're going to plan it. We're going to see each other when I'm back.